The story of Fons Vyvermans from Muizen, from the book of Jan Aerts, Half a Century with Pigeons. If you drive from Mechelen to Leuven by car, you will pass through Muizen without noticing. Mechelen and Muizen are connected. They form one community. More than 40 years ago, I was sent to Muizen to reorganize mail delivery. I stayed there for 11 months, and I mingled with the fanciers for 11 months. In the afternoon, I couldn't go home. The service didn't allow it in terms of time. There was no restaurant in the area, so we brought our own sandwiches, and at noon, we visited the fanciers in the area. The closest one was Father Vyvermans. I went there regularly. It was fun, and there was something to learn. I got to know Fons there. But one fancier gave me lessons to remember forever. I knew Father Vyvermans quite well because he came to basket in our club in Mechelen, but he often went to basket somewhere else and the fanciers wondered why. They thought Vyvermans was a bit odd, because he regularly raced with a few pigeons in the national long distance in Leuven, Antwerp or Brussels. He looked at where the best were going to basket, and where there was something to be gained. So he didn't avoid the competition, but rather sought it out. He said, "You can only boast that you have good pigeons if you compete with the strongest fanciers, and if your pigeons win a top prize there, then you can join the elite." And that's exactly what Father Vyvermans did. More than 40 years have passed, and a successor has emerged who does it even better than his father, better than his mentor. He is one of the stalwarts of Mechelen, and when I look around the club, he is the most experienced, not in age, but in sporting years. The foundation of Vyvermans strain. Fons Vyvermans began his pigeon racing career between 1923 and 1926 in Muizen, near Mechelen. At that time, there were two prominent fanciers in the area, Constable Gustaaf Van Hoof, who excelled in the sprint, and Ernest Frans, a railwayman who dominated the middle distance, and also had some long-distance talents. Fons acquired pigeons from both of them. Later, one of Fons' classmates caught a red-chequered pigeon on the canal bank, but he decided to return it to its original owner. However, he was allowed to keep it for a while. This pigeon belonged to the best racer in Boom at that time. In 1929, Fons got a son of this red pigeon from his classmate. Then, in 1932, he obtained another hen from a fancier named Serpentine in Dissen, near Liege. Serpentine was a national long-distance champion, but he was very secretive and never sold any pigeons. That's why his name is almost forgotten today. The pigeons. With Cop G64, a dark one with white feathers around the eyes. She is the daughter of the most important breeder in the loft. He flew about 24 times 660 kilometers, and was always in the lead. Twice as a youngster, and then 4 times a year. Super vital, great muscle quality, completely weightless, eyes gray in color, and her face shows special intelligence. This is probably the best pigeon in Belgium. Her daughter 69640 is the same color as her mother, completely weightless, super muscular, yellow eyes and a very sharp-looking face. In 14 days, in the year she was born, she earned 46,000 francs from 680 and 530 kilometers races. Another wonder female is de Gaulicht. She raced 4 times from Cognac, a Belgian national race, 720 kilometers, and finished 4th, 5th, 12th, 17th. Of course, there are many other great achievements to mention. This pigeon had a musculature that was so wonderfully soft, almost fluidly elastic, that I had probably never felt it like this before, and I would only see one later in the Netherlands, the brilliant racing and cattle trader Jack Wolfenweisp, the 61,996. The Iron Napoleon. At the age of 1 year, he finished 4th from Bordeaux, and then flew the 1,121 kilometers long St. Vincent race 6 times, where he went fully pooled, and brought home all the money 6 times. A child could put a whole fist between the coccyx bones of this pigeon, they were so wide apart. But that's beside the point. I could name a whole series of other excellent pigeons, because there were hardly any that could not compete with the others for one reason or another. This strain has a lot of qualities. Of course, that also applies to their owner, Fons Vyvermans himself. Although, as I said, he does not like being written about and he does not sell pigeons, in my opinion you would have to look for a better loft of pigeons in Belgium with a magnifying glass. I can imagine that this chapter on Fons Vyvermans raises a lot of questions for you, the reader. Normally, pigeons that have been inbred or bred within the family for many generations are not very competitive anymore due to inbreeding depression, if you compare their performances with crossed pigeons from other lofts. Their appearance is often too dull, and less appealing than that of their rivals, yet, they surpass them in breeding with more valuable, and bigger offspring, usually pigeons that are brighter, and more beautiful and have better competitive abilities than those of the other lofts. Focusing on the valuable ancestors in breeding has had a different effect on these pigeons than you would normally expect. So it makes sense to work in this way. All due respect to the pigeon fancier Fons Vyvermans. Thank you for watching. Until next time.